I'm Jamie Hooper with RE/MAX Crest and jamiehooper.com, and today we're here to talk about the January sales statistics from the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver. Before we do that, I'd just like to remind you, if you get any value out of these videos, to either please click on the like button, or if you're on our YouTube channel, maybe subscribe to our YouTube page, or feel free to make a comment. So, talking about January statistics, and the first thing that we notice here is the lack of homes for sale in Greater Vancouver. Combine that with sales being off slightly in January for the first time in 18 months. Kind of unusual, but I think the reason that the sales were off is there's just so little inventory in the markets out there. The unusual thing about that too is, even though the sales are off a bit, prices took a huge jump in January just because buyers have such a lack of selection in properties when they want to move. So, to give you an idea of how much prices changed, if you have a look at these numbers behind me, these are for all of the Lower Mainland. These aren't just one community, but on average, 41% of the detached houses, went up in value at an average annual rate of 41% in January. Went up as well in the townhouse market. The townhouse market's up 38% as well, and the condo market 31%. Now it's not going to keep up at these rates for over a year, but if they did, that's how much they would increase. And the reason I put the annual rate up there, if I tell you something went up 3 or 4% in a month, it doesn't have the impact to appreciate exactly how high prices went up that month. The other thing we're seeing that's really unusual that we've never seen before is houses in the suburbs now selling for an average price of over $2 million. Port Moody, North Vancouver, and Richmond, the average sale price for a detached home this year has gone over $2 million for the very first time. Now, getting back to the other items that I like to talk about are our list-to-sell ratios. This gives us a good idea of what the market is actually doing. Remember that if more than 21% or more of the houses or condos sell in a month, then that is a seller's market. If between 13 and 20% sell, that is a balanced market, and below 13% is a buyer's market. Now, what that means is if the prices stay consistently in those areas for a long time, in the seller's market, that will make prices go up. And we've been in a seller's market for well over 2 years now, and that's why we see the prices continuing to climb. In a balanced market, they'll just stay even over a long period of time, and prices won't move one way or the other. And if it's a buyer's market, prices will move down. So to check them out here, here's our detached sales ratios for the month of January. And as you can see, they all indicate sellers markets except for the west side, west van, and east side. But having said that, if you get to the lower parts of these markets, the east side, the cutoff point is 2.25 million from where it changes from a extreme seller's market to a balanced market. And then once you get over 2.75 million, it switches to a buyer's market. But it still leaves us with an overall ratio of 19%. But the lower side of all these markets, you'll probably see up in the 60-70% list to sell ratio range. Same thing for the condos. Having a look there, it's the exact same thing as what I was talking about with the detached market. So what's the reason for this big escalation in prices? What's happening? What is causing this? We're in a landlocked city, for starters. There's no more room to build. If we were in a city in the prairies, for instance, and you were short land, you just keep adding on to the city. We can't do that in Vancouver. You can't go north because of the mountains. You can't go west because of the water. You can't go south because of the United States. Used to be that you could go east, but there's no land to the east as well anymore. Combine that with 40,000 people moving to the city every year. Baby boomers not moving, more of them choosing to stay in their homes through their golden years, and the permit process in the cities. The permit process takes usually up to a year, if not more, for a builder or a developer if they want to build any new properties, etc. So those are some of the issues we're going to be dealing with over the next 12 months. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. We'll be back to speak with you in the next couple of weeks. I'm Jamie Hooper with RE/MAX Crest and jamiehooper.com, and we'll talk again.